What's up, everyone? It's Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
We got Waffle Wednesday. We need something for Friday. So,
Morning, Aubrey. Good morning.
good morning. He's a time lord.
Oh,
So, morning, Ubney. How's the flipper?
Flipper?
He had a coffee foul.
oh no.
Hope it is okay. Nothing serious. Time is a social construct, anyways. Exactly.
It's all very timey-wimey.
The flipper is perfect.
Flipper is perfect. Good deal. Now, how's the coffee? Did the coffee get hurt? Did they get injured? Oh.
Evaporate.
Coffee's great. Excellent. So how's the sound out there? Music sound good? Volume sound good?
Everything.
It is Friday. Curse of Strahd.
Everything all lined up.
Spooky Friday.
Turned in my badness.
It is Spooky Friday.
Spooky Friday. Just waiting for what? Waiting for Corgi and Nim to get back.
Yep. Waiting for
Fearful Friday. Fearful Friday.
I'm back.
Rod.
Fearful Friday. Okay.
So here's the thing.
Oh, I like that.
Friday is
Yeah.
my Sunday, which means tomorrow is my Monday. Which
That
So-
sounds like a you problem.
for all of y'all who have the weekend off, it's all a nice happy day for you. But today,
Well, weekend's all perspective, so technically you had your weekend while we were working.
Yeah, but you know, we're all
No.
kind of merry and winding down from the week and everything and ready to cut loose tonight. And he's got to go to work in the morning. So
He's
I-
raring to go to He's raring to go to work. Is that what you're saying? He had his 2 days off. And...
no, I hate my job.
Well, fair enough. That's why we play D&D, to escape our reality.
Yes.
So I hope everyone's had a wonderful week. We are here back for Curse of Strahd. We had an eventful time last week, which I'll let Corgi get into the recap when we get there. But as always, I left with a cliffhanger, and we're going to start right off in a combat. So
I know, you turkey.
Wonderful.
I don't do that on purpose.
You do it on purpose all the time. I know you do. Yeah, maniacal laugh.
Mwah.
Try to laugh like Monokuma now.
I don't know. Is that how it is?
Oh, I think you just broke me.
Oh boy.
I broke her for the internet for the rest of the day. She's done. Oh, I can't. She's got an interesting series, Corey goes on her or her channel over there that she runs right before our stream here. Dysentopia, I think is how you pronounce it.
Don
No,
Von
it's-
Rompa.
Dysentopia's the other one. That's right.
Dead
Danganronpa.
Vistani is on Thursdays.
But it's an anime style murder mystery with you explain it better than I can.
Basically, it's think about Among Us, but a game, like a visual novel. And, like you have to figure
I
out
was gonna
who
say,
done
I'm like
it.
Among Us is a game.
Well, I mean,
It's
like except like broadened out, like and explained. You know, like if there were
Touche.
trials and there was executions. He's smart aleck. You're such a smart
Well,
aleck.
I can't help you there.
Yeah.
You can't just set me up like that. What do you expect me to do?
And but yeah, so it's really good. It's actually a good mystery, and I like good mysteries. So Ruth done it, as Ubby says, with Haifumi. They're the masterminds of everything. But I think we're ready for a recap so we can get back into Curse of Strahd, which is another gothic mystery of some sorts.
Oh, I need to get on and retweet really fast.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right.
need to reach
I can
out to my wonderful friends at Homebrew Cafe.
Yes, yes.
Who are
Always
they?
check the links.
Yeah.
Check the links. We got a YouTube channel up and started. We're uploading previous content. What was that?
I don't know.
Let me get a retweet out there too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
But
yeah,
there's
so we are
there's
process
a link panel down below, and also exclamation links will get you our link tree with all the stuff in it.
we're in the process of uploading all our previous sessions into YouTube, which takes time, and then we're going to release it in chronological order type deal for each of the campaigns. So you can always catch up. So go check it out. Just
Yeah,
sub if you feel so. If you need to.
do it.
Do it. Do it now.
No pressure.
But if Corgi's ready,
I'm ready whenever you are.
go ahead with the
All
recap.
right. All right. Where we started is we were in the coffin maker's attic, holding stakes over barrels, hoping that those were the ones that contained the vampires he told us about. As they ready their stakes, Kirkle opens his barrel first. Inside, he sees a vampire laying on a pile of dirt, looking up at him, startled. He jams the stake down, thrusting it into the vampire's chest, pinning it in place. Tarnak and Tok both manage to succeed in staking their vampires in their barrels, but when Nim and Zephyr open theirs, they jump at the sight of the vampire and miss their stab. Distracted by the girls, Balfir misses stabbing the vampire in his barrel as well, as they all burst out of their crates. As the three burst out of their crates. I guess I should preface that. It reaches out to grab Balfir, but he is able to dodge out of the way. Zephyr also manages to avoid getting grabbed, but does not avoid the vampire's claws, and they cut into her. Nim swings at the vampire in front of her, slicing it deeply with her moon-touched rapier. She follows that up with another flourish of the blade. She makes another deep cut in its chest, followed by a splash of holy water. Tok sneaks up behind the water-covered vampire and swings his hand axe. Unfortunately, it gets stuck in some lumber on the floor. He drops it and pulls out his silvered sword, slashing at the vamp. Zephyr and Balfir both attempt to smash a flask of holy water on the head of the vamps closest to them, but only Balfir hits. Distracted, the vamp dodging Zephyr's attack misses Tarnak sneaking up behind him. Tarnak uses his glaive to grapple the creature, placing his hands on its cold skin and uses inflict wounds, severely damaging the vamp. Zephyr then grows claws and slashes at the vampire being held by Tarnak, killing it. After Nim is finally able to escape the vampire-filled corner in the attic, she casts a gem magic missile back at it, but it explodes in her face. Balfir summons his fire spirit. It then moves near the vampire that is attacking Balfir and Kirkle, teleporting them away, leaving a fiery explosion in its wake. Angry, the vampire grabs at the first person he sees, Zephyr. It wraps... Wow, that is not how that word is spelled. It wraps its arms around her and bites down on her neck. Kirkle uses this to his advantage to poison the vampire. Tarnak swings his glaive to hit a vampire, but misses, hitting Tarnak in the head. But by now, Nim has collected herself and takes steady aim with her bow. The arrow goes straight through the chest of the vampire and it falls to the ground. Zephyr uses primal savagery again and digs her claws into the arm of the vampire holding her. This causes it to let go of her as Balfir casts 3 scorching rays at it. It slams into its back and it falls into a fiery heap. The only vamps remaining are the ones staked in the barrels. Balfir casts Moonbeam to kill the vampires. I wrote down a word and I can't say it. I know the word, I type it out. Incapacitated, is that how you say it? It's one of those words I can type, but I can't say.
Incapacitated, yeah.
Okay.
Incapacitated.
Nim and Tarnak begin to open crates to search for them. They don't find anything worthwhile, but Tarnak does replace his cultist cloak with a different one. Tarnak tells the old man as they leave, next time a vampire contacts you, contact us. Tell a raven. They begin to make their way back to the church. As they walk through the town center, they see They have almost finished setting up for the festival. As at the church, they find Millie back in the graveyard digging again. They walk into the church and Talk lays the bones on the father's desk. They tell him about Strahd's plot to invade the city and suggest he hides the bones better. They head back to the inn and to discuss their next move. Talk suggests that they leave before they are forced to go to the festival and stay with the Vistani camp to the south. Danica tells them that the gate to the south is not guarded, only patrolled. They all agree to this, they all agree that this is probably the best idea. They manage to sneak out the gate just before Isaac walks up and lowers the portcullis. As they ride closer to the Vistani camp, a storm starts to roll in. Thunder, lightning, and wind begin to blow. In the sky appear 6 flaming horses pulling a black carriage, or the black carriage of Strahd. It is coming directly towards them. They take off as quickly as their horses can run, with Balfour in the rear. The carriage slows down next to him, and arms reach out, pulling Balfour into the carriage. The door slams and it quickly turns and starts to take off back towards Strahd's castle. Zephyr stops and screams, "Father!" shooting her bow at the horses, but through her anxiety, she misses. The group all stop and begin using ranged attacks to try to stop it, but they only manage to loose one of the flaming horses that turns angrily at them. It begins to charge. And that is where we left off.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, unfortunately, Balfour is now kidnapped. At least from the character point of view, the player, unfortunately, is not going to be joining us anymore.
Yeah. Don't worry, Nil wasn't actually kidnapped. It's okay. No D&D players were harmed in the making of this video.
At
I
least
said
not.
Balfour. But with that, we have a new map.
Ooh.
Dark
I
out.
can remember
Hopefully
how you
everybody-
roll 20.
Hopefully everybody can see that all right.
I can see it just fine.
I can only
It's
see
a
the
little-
grid
it is a
around the
little dark
horse.
on
Isn't
the
that
stream,
weird?
But I think it's okay.
All right, so Avalar and I discovered this the other night, that there's some kind of weird dynamic lighting glitch that has to do with the grid that we can't figure out what it is, right? But the dynamic lighting exposes the grid for some reason. I don't know. It's just weird. So
it's a bug at Roll20. See how I move the one character around.
Fine. It's fine.
Okay, that's fine. It's all
It's-
right. We don't really need a grid anyway.
But with that, yes, as you broke away the reins of this flaming horse as it turns and charges at you, we start this session with
Initiative.
roll for initiative.
See, I don't even remember what I wanted to do last time.
really.
Could have been worse. Could have been better.
Oh, man.
Are you rolling with Kindrat's dice there?
I must be, man. I must be. You know what it is? I blew all my good rolls last night with Gorbert.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, you had a lot of
I
good
had
rolls
really good
last
rolls. I had some really good rolls last night. So
I know the pain. I rolled bad yesterday. Really bad. All right, let me get Nim's number.
Now, since I'm sitting out in my sunroom, playing with you guys, enjoying you guys, I'm definitely going to need some curtains in front of the pool area because that is shining right in my face.
Oh,
Maybe
Or
first
some
world
tint on the
problems.
windows. Or we need to put some tint on the windows or something.
First world problems.
we'll get our guy right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think
My kids
that's,
can't wait to go get in the pool.
Is that roll survival after that? No, it's using. Does anybody have proficiency in carpenter's tools.
I'm trying to get them into the initiative order, but it's not letting me. Oh, now it goes.
There it is.
Hello.
Kept giving me errors.
No.
Interesting. All right, so forgot to mention, Korgel is not going to make it tonight, so we'll be playing him as an NPC, really. He's in a saddlebag.
It's in my saddlebag.
In the saddlebag.
That brings it to the top of the round, being the horse. And
Before we get going, what were all right? Never mind. I was gonna say before we got going, where were we all standing last week? Because I know I took a shot at the thing. I don't know if I'd be in the back, but that's fine. Let's go.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be in the back. I stopped first.
I'm
fair.
probably
Go ahead and set your marching order. We didn't really determine one last.
Yeah, so I'll just move over here because I would take a shot. You can be. I'm gonna be off the screen. Thank you.
I'm gonna be not here. Goodbye.
I think you said something along those lines. You went off this ride now.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. I went off this ride now.
Is that where you all want to be?
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm out front. Yeah.
All right. That means Zephyr
Yeah.
gets the attack with the who's.
Yay. So all I wanted today was to get attacked with hooves.
Hooves. What hooves you? 21.
Yes.
For 16 bludgeoning damage plus
Oh god.
11 fire damage. 27 points of damage.
Ouch.
The girl's hurt.
Ouch indeed. Ouch indeed. Tarnak.
Like I said, we be going now. All right. I am going to, as a bonus action, cast Divine Favor,
Okay.
which gives me a D4 to damage. And then I guess I'll slow down to here. Is that 10 feet? Is that a 10-foot reach, or is this a 10-foot reach?
5 foot squares.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so I'll hit with my glaive from there. Swinging my glaive.
Okay.
24 to hit.
24 does hit.
So 5 plus 1 moment, please. That's 1 radiant damage.
All right. 6 damage as you reach out and hit with the glaive, and radiant damage splashes off into it. It rears back in an eerie kind of ethereal kind of neigh, if you will.
Okay, and I'll use the rest of my movement to pull forward again.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. That brings it to Nim.
Such a big horse.
Indeed.
I think. Would I be? Oh, bummer. Now I really wish the chromatic orb was able to do water damage, but it doesn't.
You can't put these flames out.
I'll use the chromatic, or oh, I don't know what to do.
Can you do radiant?
No, I can't. I don't have anything radiant. I mean, I could do the rapier, or no. Let's see.
Well,
I
you
already
can
used the
move
magic
in.
missile, right?
You can move in, attack, and then disengage as your bonus action and pull forward,
Yep.
just like I did.
Yep. As long as you only use your one attack.
Yeah.
You can't attack with both hands, but if you attack with just the rapier, you can always go in, attack, get sneak attack because Zephyr's standing right there,
Yep.
and then you can disengage with your bonus and run.
And run
move.
up. Yep. You'd be up one more forward than I am. Which is what we kind of want to do.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, see, I am gonna run up to him, use the Moon Touch rapier, but I also want to put Booming Blade onto it, and then disengage. Make sense?
Okay. Yep.
I don't know what Booming Blade is as an action. So
Moving Blade is a cantrip that you can attach to your melee attack. So whenever
Okay,
you attack with
so-
a bladed weapon,
Oh,
you
I
can do
failed
it.
that one.
Yeah, you're fine.
and then it takes effect if the target moves after it's cast.
Okay.
I failed that one. It's 8.
8 does miss.
I missed it, man.
Sorry, I'm having problems with my headphones. Just hurting, actually. Yes, yeah, you swing with the rapier and it misses.
Come on. So where do I go?
Well, alright, so you used 5 feet of your movement to move backwards so you could get close enough to hit. So you can use the rest of your movement, which is
Should be
Right.
another 25 feet.
25 feet forward. So you can move 5 spaces forward to get away from the horse.
Well, I'm really just going to go this way. Make sense?
I think we're going the other way.
Yes, that's true. West, you're heading west.
So that would be behind the
For-
horse.
Yeah.
For strategic reasons, if you're trying to get there for flanking, you're totally acceptable.
Ooh, so now I can
Is that
flank him? Yeah, I'm good.
All right, that brings it to Zephyr.
Okay. I swear that I didn't name this after myself. This is actually a thing that exists. I'm gonna do Zephyr Strike.
I don't
you
believe
move-
you.
Right?
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
You move
Roll
like the
deception. Insight.
until the spell ends. Your movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. Once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon's attack roll on your turn. That attack deals an extra 1d8 force damage on hit. Whether you hit or miss, your walking speed is increased by 30 until the end of that turn.
Okay.
So, I am going to cast that. I'm going to give myself advantage on a short sword attack on it. It's a bonus action, by the way. I guess I should preface that. It's a bonus action to cast that.
Okay.
Okay.
And
It hits. 24 hits. 9 piercing.
and 1d8. Additional 4 damage for force damage.
Okay.
Horse damage.
And then I force damage, yes.
Horse damage.
And then I'm going to move over here behind this tree.
All right. Then that brings it to Talk if Zephyr is done.
I am done.
All right. Talk.
Let's see. That changed what I was going to do a little bit, but we'll still do it. All right. So I guess I'm going to get in here with Kirkle in my saddlebag. And I am going to hit him with the axe and green flame blade. Single-handed.
Okay.
It's going to be a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
And that's going to do 9 slashing. And let me get to the green flame. And it looks like 1 fire damage. And then I can hit him again. Where is it? There it is. And that's going to be a 23 again to hit.
23 hits. This Talk is hacking and slashing at this thing.
Oh, we're level
And that's
5,
going to be
aren't we?
that's going to be 12. It's going to be 12 slashing.
That's fucking stupid.
And it's just all right, I can't run green flame again. That's just the 1 attack.
All right. Hacking and slashing. The horse is crying in a kind of an echoey, ethereal, ghostly kind of horse neigh as it comes back around to hoof Talk as it rears up and tries to punch you with it. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Does a 13 hit?
No, bang off the shield. Oh,
Off the shield. Deflected. That brings it back to Tarnok.
I forgot we were level 5. I could have hit you twice last turn.
Now hit the horse. If the demon horse moved, then does Blooming Blade still effective on him?
Until the top of your next turn, I think.
until the start of your next turn.
So he's already moved. He's moved.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no. All he did was attack me. I'm standing right next to him.
He has to move out of the square he's in. Like, taking an action while staying in place doesn't count. He has to move out of the square he's in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bummer.
I'm gonna move to here. Do I get advantage on that? I mean, because he's directly across from me.
Yeah, you're within range, so.
Yeah, I can hit him. So
Yes, you got flanking.
All right, cool. All right, so good. I needed it.
You did. That critical fail without it.
18 to
Yeah,
hit.
18 hits. 18 does hit. You hit with a glaive, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's 10 plus 1. And then attack number 2.
What was the one for?
That's from my divine whatever from before. It's 1 minute concentration, so I can get to keep it.
All right.
The divine.
And 23 does hit for the second round of attack.
Oh, it's not very 9
9 slashing damage.
plus.
All right.
Plus 1
It's
again.
looking pretty. It's looking pretty unhealthy.
Okay. As far as I can go, actually. So. Hey, Foxy.
Hey, Foxy, how we doing? Good to see you. All right, that'll be end of that turn. That brings it back to Nim.
So I'm gonna go ahead and use the rapier again and go back and try to slice and dice them.
Okay.
So
Oh,
Stabby,
yeah.
stab. Slashy, slashy, stabby, stabby.
I'm still going to add the booming blade onto it and disengage afterwards.
Okay.
There's another one I can use, right? That's not the only thing I could do on them.
I think isn't green.
You have a green
blade,
blade.
but Well,
It won't be beneficial here because it jumps to another target.
right, yeah. So you're better off using the booming blade at this point.
You have a sword burst.
Oh, but you did get the level 5.
That's an AoE too. That's only beneficial in an AoE situation.
Yeah. Let's think of something else. Well, I don't remember. Anyway, so I can't use I can use rapier and just go and hash and same thing.
Okay.
Ah. And they got 11 this time.
11 does not hit. You don't have the advantage because you lost the flanking when everybody moved around, unfortunately. Do you have a second attack? You're offhand.
No, because there's people within 5 feet of it, so she still gets.
Oh, she'd still get sneak.
Yeah, she still gets sneak.
Sneak if she hits. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, she missed. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I could bring up chat over there too so I can see what's going on. Oh, look at that, there's things over here.
Sorry, she got interrupted by a kid of ours.
That happens. It's fine.
It does. So yes, just real quick, I called it in chat from Seno Fryer. They asked about the levels of the players. Yes, we are roughly around level 5. It was kind of a mixed level moving into this because I misspokenly said level while we were in the middle of combat. But also I had the D&D Beyond extension that if you happen to be on a desktop or laptop, you can hover over the screen and it should show all information straight there.
Yeah, my token's not updating in it, but it's fine.
But it looks like it took away some of your aid that you had.
Aid?
Nah, maybe I'm wrong.
I'm like almost dead, and it still shows that I'm okay.
It shows that you're at 7 health on mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It updated for you then. That's fine.
Yeah.
Ooh. Interesting. So, which I worked the extensions in, but yeah. Now, you ready for your second attack? If not, I'll roll it.
Say it again?
You ready for your second attack? You still have your bonus action attack. You still want? Oh, you moved.
She was using disengage.
That's right. My fault.
Okay.
All right. That'd be Zephyr.
I'm gonna pop out and shoot my longbow at it.
Okay. Then she knocks an arrow in, pulls the string back. Arrow goes flying.
Nat 20.
Ooh, and it crits.
Nice.
So it would be max would be 12.
Well, as the arrow hits it, it
Plus,
disperses into a cloud of shadow and whatnot.
Oh, okay. I poofed it.
It poofed it.
Nice.
Yeah, poofed it. And that ends the combat. As it's still storming and raining from the storm that was brought in.
Well, you guys are gonna look over and see that Zephyr is pretty rough.
Okay, I'll ride up, and I can hold out my hand. So I got to move it. I got 5 hit points I can give you.
That's better than what I had.
There's 5 hit points. There's the rest of my lay on hand. I think that's all I have.
Excellent.
Well, I do have one more spell slot. Actually, no, I got well, yeah, I have one more spell slot, but probably not. Till we sleep if we're gonna.
All right.
And on top of it all, Zephyr's gonna be pretty upset.
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
This is the reaction to Valkyrie being taken away.
Yes. She's probably going to not hard, just kind of smash her hand down on the trunk next to her. I am going to kill him. She'll turn to all of you. If you agree to help me get my father, get the friends that he threatens that he has, and I at this point believe that he has, of mine, and you help me get his head, I will do anything in my power to help you.
Thanks for the follow.
I agree. Yeah, Might of Ra, thank you.
And then she'll get back on her horse, and she's just gonna start riding slowly away.
She rides off.
Yep.
To the west.
Me and the frog will join you.
Thank you, Foxy, for the follow.
Hey, Foxy, thanks for the follow.
Yay! Thanks, Foxy.
Thanks for the follow.
Nice.
All right, so if you remember with this big old map, you were. I thought I had a token here. What happened to it? But I think you're around where the circle was, right?
We were here, I thought. Oh no, that's right here, right? Yeah, where the little mark is drawn. Yep.
And you're gonna follow this road all the way out to this vicinity. Is where we're heading. So it's about on horseback, like I said, it's probably about 15-20 minute ride. And then
Something like that.
it was dark and stormy and rainy. You guys are soaking wet. Emotions running rampant. As I find my map. And you pull in. So as the woods, because you're traveling down the wood roadway, and as the woods part to reveal an expansive clearing, a small grass-covered hill with low houses built into the sides. The fog obscures the details, but you can see that these buildings feature elegant carved woodwork and have decorative lanterns hanging from their sculpted eaves. On top of the hill, above the fog, is a ring of barrel-top wagons that surround a large tent with a column of smoke pouring out through the hole at the top. The tent is brightly lit from within, and even at this distance, you can smell the odor of wine and horses that emanate from the center area.
Was that a guard in front of every building? Or is that the lantern?
There are figures at every house on the outer edge.
This is where we need to be going.
This is where we were headed.
Up.
As we approach, does anybody come out to meet us?
No. Nope.
Do we seem to be known? Do they notice us? From what we
Nope.
can tell? Oh, okay.
Nope. The figures in front of these houses are cloaked. They have hoods over their heads, and they're just kind of sitting there, at attention.
Okay.
Okay.
I would suggest that we approach one of these figures so that we don't seem sneaky.
Yeah.
One of the
Kind of
outside
see if he
figures?
responds to us.
Or
Yeah,
would
maybe
you
this
rather-
one right here. He's the closest.
Or instead of trying to just approach the center, we're taking the road. Not
Well,
like
I mean,
we're more likely
we
to
could
find
just
somebody in charge.
we could just ride into the center of camp and make ourselves known.
And I will gesture for one of you to lead the way.
Okay.
Onwards I go. Follow behind. We're heading in. As long as nothing kills us.
Yeah.
No attention yet. No, nothing drawn to us yet as far as attention.
Nothing drawn to attention yet. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to grab a thing here, and I can't seem to grab it. It's on my layer.
Gotcha.
Blocking my vision. Right. So yes, as you roll up to the hill, obviously has elevation. So as you roll up to this one, the surrounding the main tent, as Ozzy says, barrel-shaped wagons. There sees no activity. There is a line of horses, kind of in the center. At this distance, you are hearing yelling and shouting from the center tent, and sounds of whips, like a whip being cracked. With the rain and stuff, it's hard to make out what they're saying, but it's men yelling. It's a male voice.
And whips?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And piled outside this main tent are several empty casks of wine. From inside the tent comes the cracks of whip, followed by the howls of a young man.
Sounds like somebody's being tortured.
Or punished.
Or punished.
Or punished, yeah.
I guess.
That makes me very wary.
And we don't see anything except for the horses. Like we don't see anybody outside.
Nope. Just the horses.
Well,
So I guess
don't know
I'll.
if I feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As you walk near the wagons or walk around the wagons like you are, you hear very heavy snoring. Snore.
right.
From the wagon.
Which?
From the wagon.
Okay, so which?
One of-
The whips are and howling is coming from the building.
From the
From the
tent.
main tent.
From the main tent here in the center.
Oh, in the middle. Okay.
Okay.
You rode up close to this. I put it on the wrong layer. I hate when I do that. You rode up to this
Okay.
wagon and you hear snoring.
I still didn't see it.
The one right in front of you, the one in between you and I,
Oh,
right there.
Here. I hear snoring. Just that one? I move over to this one. Do I hear anything around this one?
Yeah, 1 second. You're sitting on my...
Oh, sorry.
You hear loud voices and laughter spilling from that one.
I relay that information.
Okay.
What? No, it's a wagon with a big wine barrel on it.
It's a barrel-shaped wagon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Is there a door?
I'm gonna start
back
like
side.
backing out
Probably
of
on the back side.
town just a little bit.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna say to Tarnok, maybe we should call out.
Well, that sucks.
Zephyr ran away.
Maybe I can go around to each of the. Well, my stealth mode didn't work, but go around to the wagon. See what's going on. Maybe Snoopy.
Well, we hear laughter from the one that we're next to, and then there was snoring from the one below us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm wondering what's going on in the others.
I'm gonna walk. This is where we're meant to go. I'm gonna walk to the door and knock on the door. Is there a door on the back? There's a door on the back. I'll knock on the door.
I think maybe speaking up out loud before anything would work better. Say, hello, anybody here?
So Tarnak goes there and knocks on the door, and the laughter kind of settles down. The door opens. You see a Vistani, brightly colored dressed in his outfits, and has a pint of wine or a mug of wine. Yes. You here for the dice game? Come in. The game is just about to get started again.
I'm not here for the dice game, but I will look at the group and motion to come over, and I'll go in.
You're going in?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you're a big fella. Oh, hold on. Move over, guys. Move over. Yeah. Would you want to play a dice game? Guys might win a fortune here. They're rolling low tonight.
Fortune, you say?
Do I even have a fortune?
Well,
Okay, sure.
you possibly could run. I'm running kind of low tonight. Rolling kind of low tonight, but it's possible. Possible.
Sure. We're here for a reason. Somebody has the reason. I don't know the reason. I'm sure Tarnak knows the reason.
I'm by the entrance. Nim's by the entrance of the tent, listening in what's going on inside.
Well, what reason would that be? Okay.
Casually.
What reason would that... Okay. What reason would that be? Oh, by the way, it's 25 gold pieces to buy in.
Sure. Done.
We seek shelter for the evening. We seek shelter for the evening so that we might not have to travel through the woods at night. We were told the woods in this area are very dangerous.
You have to speak to our leader, Lovish. He's in the big center tent. I'm sure we can spare a wagon or two. All right, ready? And he takes his dice and he rolls.
Big center tent.
This is Amadar's favor. Have you played this game before? As he rolls.
No.
Oh, I should do
No,
that.
I've never heard of it.
I should do that in whisper. Whoop. Well, this is how you play. It's 25 gold piece value. Each player rolls two six-sided dice, and you add up. If you add up to 7 or 12, you win. You win the pot. And it points to the 25 gold piece you rolled in.
8.
And the other two guys roll. Six again. And the third guy rolls. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
666. This is going to be a great game.
Right.
It's a good omen.
Now you can add another. You can add another bet. You can add another D6 roll.
Okay, so I can add another D6 roll to what I had.
If you pay another 25 gold. And he throws a couple coins in the pot.
Well, okay, this thing doesn't know how to go up. It only. Oh, there it goes. Hold on a moment, please. There. So, yeah, I can do that. All right. I add another 25, and I roll a D6 for 3.
2d6.
3. Oh, bad luck. So he throws another 25 gold in his pot, and he rolls as well.
7.
Slags down a glass of his wine. Yep. And he points to the other Vistani. Your turn. Throws in another 25 gold. And he rolls. And the third guy. I'm out. Too rich for my blood. Well, what'd you say there, big fella? Going in and around?
Wait, what did we have to roll for with 1d6? It was adding it too, right?
Same thing. It's supposed to be 2d6.
So now I have to roll
Right.
another d6 and get it, or do you just start at the beginning?
You roll until you get over 12. So if you want to buy again...
Oops, I actually...
You just rolled 1d6 for each of your characters.
Yes.
I don't get that.
Because they each bought in.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's adding to the original 2d6 that they rolled.
Right, yeah.
Correct. Right.
So I had an 8.
So it's
Just
like
questioning. It was confusing for me.
right.
yeah. So the algae game
So
is
I'm at
roll
11
7 or
now.
12.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm at
It's like
11
it's kind of like
now.
blackjack. Yeah, it's like blackjack at this point. So, and again, if you fold, you lose your money to the guy that stays
Wow.
in.
Well, so if I roll, I have to get a 1,
You have to get a 1.
or I lose. It's either pay 25 gold and have a 1 in 6 chance in losing, or not losing. A 1 in 6 chance in not losing. 5 in 6 chance of losing. Or not pay in another 25 gold and still lose. I'll just not pay in 25 gold and still lose.
Okay. So it's between the other two. Let's see. He's at 7. Actually, he did get 7, didn't he? Because he had a 1 and a 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
That's
Gotcha.
what I was confused about.
Yeah, so many numbers I got confused. He did win the roll. But you fold it, so he'll take the pot just to shorten the game up. And that was Avadar's favorite. You in for again, or how about anybody of your compadres? Let it round?
I don't think he wastes his money.
No, too rich for my blood.
I can understand that.
I'm the only one with any money.
I would offer you some wine, but unfortunately, we're kind of running low here.
We've heard there's a bit of a shortage in the area.
Yeah.
Yes. But if you're looking for a place to stay, you have to get the permission of Vistani. Woohoo. Lavash. Lavash. I have to give that to Spell McCourty.
They're gonna be in the main tent there.
In the main tent, yes. I don't mind the screams of Alexi.
What'd he do? She do. I don't know who it is.
It's
Young
him.
Man.
Okay.
But he was tasked to watch Lovish's young daughter. And now she's missing. Half the camp's out looking for him. Looking for her.
Do they think he did it?
We ran into a group earlier on the road into Vallaki.
Yeah, that'd be our party. They haven't found that poor girl.
They're the ones that told us of your camp.
Ah, indeed. Yes. Unfortunately, now it's fallen night. That poor girl hasn't been found yet. Lovish is beside himself. I wouldn't anger him too much.
Keep that in mind. I guess I'll walk over to the tent and make myself known. Excuse me, Lavash.
Do I have an
So, as you reach to the tent, you see inside there's 3 sputtering campfires. Fill the tent with smoke. And through the haze, you see 6 Vistani passed out in the various places on the dead grass. I guess right in front of the tent area. And his reading is tough. A barely conscious and shirtless teenager hung in the center of the tent pole. Let me get these guys out. And these guys. They're supposed to have him in the center, and he's not. So he's here. Nope, not him. He's here. Yep. All right. So through these 3 fires filled with smoke, through the haze, you see 6 Vistani passed out, and kind of in the dead grass, and barely conscious and shirtless teenager hangs from the center tent pole. His wrists are bound with rope, and his back is streaked with blood. An older, larger man in studded leather armor lashes the young man with a horsewhip as you hear the crack, causing him to scream again. Standing in the bigger man's shadows is the 3rd man, also clad in studded leather. "Easy, brother," he says to the whip-wielding brute. I think Alexi has learned his lesson. As you come in and say, "Excuse me, Lavash." "Ah, it's visitors." What can I do for him? Pardon the mess. Pardon the mess.
I heard what happened, and you must do what you have to do. We are travelers from Vallaki, and we wish to take refuge in your camp for the night rather than travel the woods.
Indeed, the woods is not safe to be at night. Hence my party's out, my rest of my band's out looking for my daughter.
Yes. We heard earlier today. We ran into them northeast of Vallaki.
God, they were out that far?
Yes.
They still ain't found nothing. Unbelievable. And as he cracks the whip at the young teenager on the pole. Well, if you need a place to stay, I believe I can we can work something out. Maybe you guys can help find my daughter.
We will do what we can.
Indeed. There's a wagon to the east of the tent. It's free to stay. I can only offer one.
That's fine. We are but 4 people.
And unfortunately, I would give you wine, but we seem to be running low on that.
Yes, we discovered that in Vallaki ourselves. Okay. With that, I will bid you good night and let my companions know of the arrangements.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you need safe passage through the mist, I might be able to have a concoction for you for sale. But we'll talk about that once my daughter is found.
Very
he goes
good.
back and starts beating the teenager again.
So I'll let everyone know. Well, at least Tarnok and Nim, that we have. He's made the wagon to the east available to us.
Okay, sounds good.
Where's Zephyr?
All right.
Still out of town?
I'm just like hovering around at the base of the hill, a little too nervous to come up.
I guess I'll walk out between the wagons and see if I see you. Wave you in if you can see me.
You would hear the scream stop for a minute and then start again.
I guess I'll ride my horse up.
Tarnak sitting outside, listening, waiting, watching. You notice this particular wagon has iron padlocks to secure the back door.
One to the north or the one to the
The one to the north.
east? Oh, the one to the east is the one that we're allowed in.
Yes.
So L for lock, I for your in.
I for in.
I'm doing a free hand with a mouse. I don't like my text tool.
Alrighty. So, okay. Well, that's fine. So that one's locked.
As Zephyr walks closer to these, well,
I have my hood up.
Yeah.
I put my hood up.
Fair. Yeah, and you weren't anywhere close. Okay, you're good. Okay.
As I walk past this one, I'm gonna knock on the side. Do I hear anything?
Nope, it's quiet. It's hollow.
But it's locked.
Notice the padlocks, yes.
Well, I'll
follow
when we
Tom.
get back to the inn one, I'll mention once we're inside. I'll mention it to the group that one is locked.
Okay.
If someone might
I'll
want
follow the
to
outside.
want to check into it,
All right.
but I'm not.
This one you hear
myself.
walking by. You hear this one has snoring, and Zephyr's picking up children laughter in that one. see. And you guys make your way to the wagon. You're going to sleep for the night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Supposed to... Are these our horses or special horses?
They're Vistani's horses.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bring yours in because of the clutter I already got on my screen. Okay.
You get the top bunk.
You open up. It's
I
you open it up.
we have
It's
someone.
good.
I was gonna say I suggest we have someone keep watch for the night.
So you open this up. You have basically a bunk beds kind of thing. You have a little small couch. You have a kind of a table and seating arrangement, like a dining room table that looks like it could be put down and fold into a bed by itself. So it's kind of a modest little RV to put it in perspective. As Zephyr mentions about staying watch.
I'll take first watch. I doubt I'm going.
Are you
to
gonna take
sleep.
first? Okay.
Okay. Zephyr is first watch.
I can take second or third or fourth. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean either way. You want second? I'll take third.
Sure.
Nim, you want morning watch, early morning?
Yeah, it's fine.
Is it a perception roll? I'm gonna start using a Batman voice.
Oh God. No.
Sure, you can roll a
Batman.
perception roll. Go ahead.
I'm the Batman.
I'm the Batman. I'm
Sound like the
TJ
commercial.
Man.
I can do my deep voice. How's that?
Oh boy. I can't see very well. I'm blind in the night.
Oh, do we all need to roll them? Sorry, I was too distracted with your guys.
I did. So.
Yeah, go ahead. Go roll them out. You know.
Taxis everything.
That's it.
I see everything as well. Yours
I see the wind.
as one.
I don't see as much as Zephyr.
Holy moly, crit.
Yeah, we both got crit. We both got 20s.
Well, if we're getting attacked, we're gonna know about it. That's for sure.
Tarnok's kind of, because of the day's events and whatnot, he's kind of fading in and out of sleep because of the day's events. He's kind of exhausted. He's noticing during his watch a couple, what looks to be Vistani, come riding back into the camp. Luvash steps out of the tent, had a little chat with him. He's angry. He's throwing things. You get a sense that that's probably the party that was out searching, came back empty-handed. He points and sends them out again, and they go running out. Beyond that, it's uneventful. It goes into talk and Zephyr. You see basically the same thing about every hour or so. Riders are coming back, and time goes on. Lavish is getting more worried, more mad, unpredictable in some sense, as he's throwing things, breaking open his empty wine barrels he has outside of his tent, and sends them back out again to search for his daughter. And that goes right into Nims as daybreak. It's quiet down a little bit. The riders do come back. They go into the tent this time, and they ride out, go back out searching again. And now it's bright early morning, still raining. You guys got your long rest.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, thank goodness. I needed that. Woo!
So does that mean like hit points and everything are back to normal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There should be a button there in the character sheet for long rest that should do everything for you.
Right, but if you were bit by a vampire, remember to change your hit points back.
Indeed, yes, good point.
All right, I'm trying to remember where it's at.
Click on your picture
Maybe it's
for
gotta
your
be-
character. And one of the options is long rest.
I am gonna.
I'm
have
assuming
other
it's similar
problems.
on the tablet.
On the app, I think it's just a picture of a campfire.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going into.
I think it's all the way up at the top. It's like a picture of a campfire. I think.
Yeah. Good. I'll tell you what, we're right in the middle. I'm gonna step away for a quick 5 minutes.
Cool.
Okay, clear.
I'll get a cup of
Okay.
coffee.
I guess it allows me to refill my cup too as well.
Do you know
So let's take a quick 5 minutes. Start of the new day.
Yep. Hey, chat. Got a couple of follows. Foxy, thanks for the follow. Might of Ra, Son of Ra. Thanks for the follow, guys. Snow.
Snow.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you everybody for following. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Welcome to the homebrew community.
Do you
Yes.
know how to change the decision to be like I don't even know where it I'm trying to change my HP.
What are you trying?
Because it's not right.
You trying to change your HP?
Oh,
Yeah, it's not
do you
right.
have it under changed
can-
under
Go ahead.
the manual? You have it changed under the manual override?
In your when
So
you create the character on the first page, you can choose. I think it's fixed or manual.
Right. So if you go to that and it's edit character,
Yep.
that's levels, but you want to go to home, right? Well, it says preferences, but it doesn't show any of those preferences underneath.
About halfway down the page, there's hit point type on home. You can choose fixed or manual.
Well, it's not showing me any of that. It's showing me creating a character level, preferences. That's it. It's not actually here. I can put it on this. I can put it on the stream. Because I am cool like that. Well, it's not showing up on the stream because.
So all right. So if you go into your character, if you went into your character builder, right? So you click the little gear next to your name up at the top of the character sheet, right? And then over in the panel on the right, you hit edit character.
Yep. And
then you have all the tabs: home, race, class, abilities.
Yep.
Right. If you click home,
Uh-huh.
about halfway down the page, you see advancement type, milestone or XP, and then hit point type, fixed or manual. Really? No?
I don't see any of that. Nope. I see creating a character, and there's a paragraph. Says your first step in playing an adventure, Dungeons and Dragons games, blah 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 blah. It's just a paragraph, and then there's.
All right, but that's so you clicked on the question mark. If you click on the home, the word home.
Nope, I'm on the word home.
Oh, click on the question mark and turn that off.
Where is the question mark?
Right next to home, there's a blue question mark. Right in between character builder and home, there should be a question mark.
Ah, there is. Good job.
There you go.
I fixed that. Now.
I'm struggling to remember what
Manual,
my HP
that's
was,
what
'cause
I
did
need,
manual
baby.
override on my HP, and now I can't remember what it was original.
All right, we're good now. We're all set. I just need to get to wherever my actual HP is. That's probably in manage HP, which we can do once we get the heck out of here.
It's yeah. Well, you can do it from the character builder too on the class page. You can manage HP up on the top.
Yeah.
48.
That's actually how I gotta do it. I'm bad. Mine.
Oh, so how was everybody's week? How about you, chat? How was everybody's week out in chat? I'm glad it's Friday. I know that.
I'm glad you're glad it's Friday.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to work weekends.
It doesn't matter.
Nah.
It just stinks that I have to go back to work.
I hear you.
I just rather not. But that's kind of everybody.
What was it from Office Space? I don't like my job, and I don't think I'm gonna go back anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Albany, first week back at school after a 5-week lockdown, and I have to go back tomorrow. That sucks.
Aww.
I mean, I'm glad to hear you're not under lockdown anymore, but
Should probably go to the restroom.
what was that?
She should go to the restroom. Plus giggle.
Yeah.
Probably run away from the computer as well.
That's it. Oh goodness, I yawned and now I can't stop.
Neil's gonna catch up on the videos this weekend.
Awesome. Hello, Nilmerg. How are you doing, sir?
Make sure to watch all of Wednesday's video. Don't miss a minute of that video.
Wednesday we had a marathon stream. Action packed all the way to the end.
15 hours to VOD.
Oh, it's too funny. I wake up in the morning and I have a ping in Discord. I think the stream is still running.
I will do that. I think the video's been taken down. I gotta upload it to somewhere. I probably should do that after the stream tonight.
All right, we're back. Are we all back?
I think Corgi just stepped away. She'll be back in a minute.
All right, Rob.
Neil says he's gonna catch up on all the streams this weekend, so we told him he's got to watch Wednesday all the way through.
All the way through. Every single one. The whole thing.
I have to go step away so I can show my daughter how to work the Keurig.
No problem.
Probably you'll start her growth.
It's cappuccino. Decaffeinated cappuccino.
So you're suffering withdrawals already? Yeah. Keurigs are rocket
Krug
science.
is rocket science. It is.
I miss Nilmerg. I can tell you that all these girls miss Nilmerg.
Indeed. The crying has been a lot.
Oh, yeah, poor Neela. She's been rough.
Can't even look.
She
She
didn't
can't
even
even look at a good berry anymore, Nil.
Can't
Yeah,
even
she
look
didn't
at
she didn't even want a good berry breakfast on Wednesday. You know,
Good berry syrup.
it made her cry. It made a scene in the inn. I don't know what.
Gorbert did okay. Gorbert did okay. I actually, well, I'll let you watch the stream. Actually, Key Boss did play a part in last night's stream. So,
Yes.
well, at least
no spoilers.
At least part of Key Boss played a part in last night's stream.
51% about.
51. No, I didn't use 51% of them. I only used
No, you didn't. You didn't. It nearly
So how's
helped
that-
the party.
So how's everyone's volumes? Everything even out there? Everything sound good?
You might say, Nil, you might say that Key Boss lended a hand.
You might say that. And if you did, you'd be pretty close to correct.
That's a good way of putting it.
It'll work.
You boys.
Especially in that one, yes. Coffee's gone.
How was Lars' week?
Pretty busy, actually. Pretty busy. Smooth busy, I call it. Not like stressful busy.
No, right, yeah.
Pretty busy. Work went by fast. Got a whole day planned tomorrow.
Oh, good.
because we didn't have our proper Mother's Day last week because of the rain. So we're actually going out to a local nursery.
Oh, cool.
Tomorrow. And some of that fajita that I crave so much for lunch. Well, yeah, nah, it was fast week. Gonna be a nice weekend. Might get a late night D&D tonight, I think.
Nice.
We'll see. I know. I forgot. Bully's got to work tomorrow, so.
I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
First up-
this is coming from the guy who spent the first. What time did you wake up, Bully?
Today?
Yeah.
Today, like, I think it was like 7. No, 5. Sorry. It's like 7 yesterday.
Woke up at, so he spent the first 6.5 hours of his day watching TikTok.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. So the funny part was that I predicted it, right?
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
even intentionally trying to predict it.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. It wasn't technically TikTok. It's technically YouTube Shorts, but it's
Okay.
the same fucking thing.
Same
It
But
was literally
it was
watching
definitely called-
TikToks. They all had the TikTok stamp on there.
There you go.
You
That is true. Ed definitely called it out.
Yeah. It was
In about
fair.
Except
11:30.
he did mess up on the coffee thing.
Oh
Well,
my
all right. So
God.
Bully turned the coffee pot on. He just never actually got a cup.
I never
Never got a
went
cup.
to get a cup. I sat down and watched TikTok right till 11:30.
So it was 5, and about 11:30 he goes, "Oh no!" I'm like, "Yep." And there's a TikTok.
Oh man. Get wrecked, son. You didn't need anything for today.
That is awesome.
Terrible.
Then he goes back and goes, Corey asked me if there's anything funny, and he goes, "I go back and check. Don't do it. It's a trap."
Nothing worth sharing, but I'll go back and check.
Oh goodness. Oh. So, I know she said she had to walk away. She's still muted. I could probably. I don't hate to start it without her. 'Cause there's some stuff here. Okay. All right. So let's get our minds settled back into the rain is beating on top of the barrel wagon roof.
Okay,
But this.
my inner Strahd.
Go
I
ahead.
need to get my inner Strahd hatred back. Okay, I've got it.
Got it.
Strahd. Yeah.
Got your sorrow and inner Strahd hatred. All right. Because as you guys, break of dawn kind of hits the wagon. You guys start opening your eyes, but you're startled also at the same time of shouting. Sounds like Lovish, who's yelling and screaming. What you're picking up is basically, "Yo, bums! You sat here and gambled all night. Get out there and find my daughter!" And you're crashing and things being broken. Sounds like wood being broken. That you guys come to in a week. You see Lavish walking away from that gambling wagon.
That was intense.
Hmm.
I'm it's morning time and I'm going to like look at my hands and be like, there's no good berries.
No, but I'm sure we could find something to eat around here.
She's just gonna like, ugh, don't trust these people. They
I'm
follow
going
Strahd.
to. I don't know that they follow Strahd, but what difference does it make?
I don't know. They could just
Lavish
harm
says-
us with their food.
Lavish says that he may have some kind of concoction that can help us get through the mist. He's willing to give it to us or sell it to us after his daughter is returned safely. He wants us to perhaps lend a hand in the search.
Let me guess, you bartered that for our night stay.
No, I merely said that we are travelers and we will do what we can to help find her.
He doesn't sound like a man who minces words. He probably took you very
Nim
seriously.
smirks. Snickers.
What are you laughing at?
Well, I don't know how long we have ahead of us to get to the winery, but we should probably get started here soon.
Alright, well, I'm gonna have my hood up before I exit.
Okay. Roll deception.
Me?
Yep.
My charisma is so good. 17. Woo!
Not bad.
My charisma's +0, by the way.
Hmm.
That's a lot of thinking from the DM. I'm nervous.
So as you guys come out of your wagon, you notice there to the right, to the houses down below, the figures that were standing in front of the houses are starting to or shifting, if you will. They're moving. They're like changing of the guards, if you will. So one comes out, takes a post, the other one goes back into the house. And then another one comes out and things of that nature, all around what you can see. Lovish is sitting in the front of the camp, looking through all the wine barrels, slamming the lid down, kicking them over. Obviously agitated. And he happens to notice you come walking out. And, my friends, you have to be famished. Come inside. Despite my demeanor of my missing daughter, obviously has me worked up, but let alone I am a gracious host. We have roasted wolf steak. It's about all we get around these parts. If you guys happen to be hungry. And he points to his inside his tent.
I could eat.
I'm
Come.
follow.
Come.
Everyone in your village is so small.
It's
like Munchkin Land.
I do notice that now.
We represent the lollipop.
What's so funny is I am short.
Holla, girl, holla.
You're still 4 times the size of them. I'm like a
I'm
giant.
going to go in, but I'm going to try to keep my a cloak over my face as best as I can.
All right. So we're going to bring the size down because you are correct. They were a little off. There we go. So you notice that the sleeping Vistani that was sleeping the night before now no longer there. You feeling they're out, probably searching for his daughter. So it's Lovish and this big brute guy that you saw was whipping the young lad, and the young lad is kind of passed out, still roped up on the center pole. On the fires, there's grills, and he's got wood stakes. Lovish is taking a plate, putting steaks on for you guys for 4 plates, and handing it out to you. I would offer you some wine, but there's that.
Right.
Argyle, the biggest brute guy, comes rushing over to grab the steak, big fork in, puts it on the plate, like barbarian style. She goes back and sits down, kind of glances at Zephyr, because they didn't see her last night. Grunts, goes back and sits down. So tell me, what's your names? Where you headed? This is from Lovish.
guess I'll start. My name is Tuck.
Tarnock.
Talk.
We're not from Barovia.
Darkwater be bless you. Where are you heading? As he sits down and starts eating his steak.
We are actually traveling to the vineyard.
To the Wizards of the Wines.
Yes.
What
We
brings you
thought,
there? I'm sorry.
We were asked to perhaps look into the shortage.
Yes, they owe me 6 barrels. I haven't seen him in months. You know, if you're going there, if you could be so kind, maybe bring some back.
Well, first, I suppose we'll have to see if there's any to be brought back.
Oh, I'm sure that old crow over there is holding them for some reason or another. We're not very much liked around here.
Oh no, we've had nothing but peaceful encounters with your people.
Indeed. Indeed. Kind of grins and chuckles. He looks over at Tarnock and, who are you might be, big fella? You look like a warrior.
Yep. Formerly, well, as needed. Tarnox.
As needed. For hire.
Well, if needed.
If needed. Indeed. Indeed. Looks at the other two compadres. Looks at Nim. And who might you be?
To learn all elf, finding her way.
Elf, you say, huh? We don't see too many around here. Only elves here are the stinking dusk elves, and he points kind of around camp. They sit in the hobbles on the outside of the hill here.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
As Nim piques interest.
And looks at Zephyr. And who might you be? As he's peeking to catch your eyes, your face features, and things of that nature.
I'm Beth. I'm just been traveling with my companions. I really don't know what's happening.
Beth, you say. So why you hide your face?
I'm just very shy to people I don't know.
You could never be too cautious around in Barovia here. He chuckles. And his brute of a fellow right next to him. It takes a big old chunk out of his steak.
I'm eating the food. For sure.
Okay. The Wizard Wineries are probably about a half a day's journey to the west. If you happen to see my daughter, please, with haste, bring her back.
Of course.
Where's your daughter look like?
Yes, I was going to say, what is her appearance? I remember she was young, what, 7 or 8, they said.
I might have to go to a different area for that description. I can't remember.
Why
Yeah,
does it
we're trying to find it in my
I want
notes.
to say she was blonde. Let me see. A girl with black hair, pale skin, named Arabelle.
Right, Arabelle. Yeah, young
7
girl,
years old.
Arabella, 7 years old, raven black hair and pale white skin.
That's it. Yep.
Hey, Wingley, it's going good. Not dead yet.
It was close. It was close at the beginning there for me.
Okay, we get back to where I was. All right. Yeah. So yeah, raven hair girl, 7 years old. It's the only family I have left here, or I should say that. Besides my brother, and he points at him. The big brute next to him. Brr. That's Argle. I'm Lovish, obviously. That's Argle. I have to give you that spelling. He finishes the last. He only took 2 bites of this thing, but he finishes his steak in 2 bites. This big brute guy. And he gets up and heads over to the fire pit. Puts another fork into a steak off the grill, slams on his plate. Happens to glance at Zephyr. Zephyr. And he points to her. Yeah, Zephyr. And he points at her. And in a low grunt, looking at Lovish, Dusk Elf. What? Lovish stands up.
What?
Uh-oh.
You travel with Dusk Elves? Tarnock sensing that Tarnock's the leader of the group.
Well, yes. It seems.
Her kind's not welcome here. She should be out there with the hobbles. By noon, you were company with the Dusk Elf.
She hasn't done anything to you or your kind.
Oh, it's not more than that. Strahd finds out. We're all in trouble.
I guess I'll stand up and excuse myself without saying anything then.
I'm sure Strahd knows of our existence. Nobody's
I'll
brought
grab my
here without
horse.
Strahd's permission anyway.
Which way did you go out, Zeph?
I went out the tent and then went out in front of the wagons out here to avoid any more people seeing me, and then I was like walking to the road around the hill.
You stopping there?
I'd probably make my way out to the road with my horse and wait.
Okay. Well, this matter could be overlooked if you either find my daughter or bring me 6 barrels. If not, Strahd will definitely have to hear about this. As Argo is sizing up Tarnock. You're about the same height, same built stature.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm sure Strahd already knows of her existence. We were all brought here because of him. At least to Barovia.
But we cannot give aid to the Dusk Elves. You put our entire camp in jeopardy.
We meant nothing by it. We didn't know that there was an issue with any one of our party. As I said, we are not from Barovia, so we are not
accustomed to
knowledgeable of your customs or your
Information.
infighting.
Indeed. Indeed. Again, the infraction can be overlooked.
Fudge.
But finish your steak in haste and head out as quick as possible. Lover steps out with his brother. Zephyr, you see by your horse a tall, well, a fairly medium tall, slender figure walking up with in a cloak, face covered, walks up to you, gives you a note. And as you take the note, they slowly turn and walk away.
I guess I'll take the notes.
The note is from, I've got a copy to you, it's from a Kazmir Velikov. Let me get that spelling for you. Because I got here where it is. And it speaks in time when you meet at the South End house. Do not let the Vistani see you. Sign. Kazmir Velikov.
So it says to sneak around to the south house without being seen?
Yeah. I'm boxing it right now.
Okay, I guess I will take my horse and trot out to the outskirts of town and go over to this house and try to, I guess, sneak as best as I can around without being seen to the south house.
That's fair. Given the fact there's very little Vistani in the camp, I'm not going to let you do a stealth roll or anything like that. You basically made your way over there without being seen. And in front of that, standing quietly in front of this house, bathed, well, it's not warm like it's night in daytime, are three sullen gray cloaked figures. Their angular features and black flowing hair half hidden under cows. As they see you approach, they open the door. One of them opens the door and motions for you to come inside.
Okay, I guess I go inside?
Give me one of the features for this guy. Let me see. Inside, sitting at the one long table, is a mutilated dusk elf. That's the same shade of skin as you do. Different hair color. He's aged. Been mutilated, like he's, in a way, been either in a big battle or has been tortured in many ways. A lot of scars. His whole right side of his face is like it's been burnt. As he sees you walk in, please sit down.
I guess I don't have much choice. I'll sit.
I know you don't remember me. You were so young then.
I don't recall anything of Barovia.
My dear, you are from Barovia.
So I have heard.
It would make sense that you were so young, and it makes sense your father did not tell you. But
No,
tell me,
he definitely did not tell me.
your father was one of us, a dusk elf.
My father was a drow.
Hmm. That might be a facade that he put on in the normal world, but no. He was a just elf. Fell in love with a Geonasi before the purge. You see, the Dusk Elves are all but forgotten. There's only a few survivors left in secret places such as these.
But doesn't
We are
seem
watched
so
over.
secret, since the Vistani are all around you.
Well, the Vistani are tasked by Strahd to watch over us for our transgressions, if you will. And we stay for their protection because we won't last long in other parts of Barovia.
For what transgressions? What happened?
Our kind, her name was Patrina Valakovia. No. Patrina Valakona? Was one of Strahd's old bride. Used to live here hundreds of years ago. Her brother, and he points to himself, still does. Strahd punished us, our race, because we killed Patrina. Not me, but our race. Killed him to save her from becoming a vampire herself and one of his consorts. In his rage, he wiped out all our women and children and let us live a existence like this till we eventually will die off. You were the last of our kind. That still gives us hope.
So there's no women and children Dusk Elves? Is that what you're saying? Or did I mishear you?
No women and children.
Oh.
Except for you. You were the
And
last.
so a female Dusk Elf is like something.
Indeed.
Crap.
When Strahd find out about your birth, you try to persuade your father for a bargain to leave this place for your hand. Of course, he denied that. Your mother stayed back and unfortunately perished for your safety. Madame Eva helped get you out of Barovia.
Yes, she told me that. So
Your return has been prophesized. Has she? I'm sure Madame Eva has told you that.
as well, yes, she did tell me that. I don't know what is, so much is happening.
Indeed.
Does this mean
It's okay.
that I need to avoid Vistani at all costs?
These Vistani work for Strahd.
Well, don't they all?
Madame Eva's group does not. Except for a handful of hers that pledge allegiance to Strahd themselves. Madame Eva can be trusted.
So what do I need to do then? Can you offer me any aid?
I must confess, I am burdened by dreams of my dead sister, whose spirit has languished in the catacombs below Castle Ravenloft. She tells me of a temple. There you'll find a secret to breaking Strahd's pact with the Dark Forces. You see, Strahd himself cannot be killed until you confront the ones that are his puppet masters, if you will. With your coming, I would say, now's the time. Amber Temple is where I've been told by my sister to look. To break the pact.
Okay. How do I break the pact? What do I have to do? You know?
I don't know. Only what she told me in the dreams. But the answer lies in that temple. It's a very cold and dark and dangerous place. Make sure you have the tools for you attempt to enter there.
You mean the items that Eva told us about?
Yes. Through her readings.
Okay.
You are our last hope, Zephyr. With you, our race, our bloodline lies on your shoulders.
Hope I don't fail. I nearly fell yesterday.
The Morning Lady watches over you. Morning Lord, sorry. Morning Lord.
What is the Morning Lord?
Well, there's two religions here in Barovia. The Dark Mother and the Morning Lord that runs the day. He's a deity that gives us hope, light, goodness, Dark Mother, evil, dark. And some will say Strahd.
Is that the same as the Temple of Saint Andrel?
Yes, that's the Morning Lord. He was a saint for the Morning Lord.
Okay. Do you have any silvered items that I could use?
We are not allowed to carry weapons, unfortunately.
I kind of assumed as much. I guess my friends have agreed to help me hunt down Strahd.
That is good.
I want nothing more than to kill him, so thank you for at least providing me with more information.
Indeed. Any help I can give, I'll see my place is open. You must be discreet, but your friends are completely welcome.
I will, thank you. If we need shelter, well, if they need shelter, they seem more than welcome with the Vistani. Would I be able to stay with you in that case?
Yes, most certainly. And don't trust those Vistantes.
Oh,
They're only nice. They're only nice because they don't want to interfere with Strahd's business with you. You have his complete attention.
I assumed as much. I would like to stay out of Strahd's eyes as much as possible. So.
Indeed.
Kashmir, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
And then I guess I'll go over and I'll shake his hand.
And he pulls out. It's decrepit. Yeah, and he pulls it out. It's decrepit, and it's half, like 3 fingers are left. And he shakes it out. Part of my appearance. It's been a tough life.
It is fine. I have seen worse. And I'll do the double shake, where you shake one hand and you take the other hand and you wrap it over.
And he taps you with his pointer finger because that's all you can do. Up, down, left, right.
And then I guess I'll excuse myself.
All right, you come out. The door opens up, and you head back on your horse. And let's go back to the main tent. That was a long segment there. You guys are finishing up your steaks. To the rest of the group.
No, we should probably make way.
Okay. So you head out of the tent, you get on your horses, and you, about that time, are starting to meet Zephyr way down the end of the road.
Okay.
Storm's getting worse. Raining a little heavier. Let's bring you back to the main map. You're outside of the Wallaki town gates, and you got a path to the north that leads into Old Salvik Road again. And then from there, you can go east and west. Obviously, east runs back into Wallaki around the wooded fencing gate.
And is this the Wizard of Line?
No.
The winery is west, so I assume that we'd turn left and go west.
Okay.
So.
Remind you, somebody was carrying a map. FYI.
Yeah, Balfour had the map, right?
Oh, good.
That's true.
All right, so
That's
we no
true.
longer have a map. Good job. All right, so
That's true.
let's head. We're supposed to be heading west, correct?
Yes, along the old Salvik Road. West.
Valak.
Arena staying back in the church, so boom, that. So we'll use Tox token as a token for the party. So you guys head west, and about an hour away, you come up to a road that comes to an X intersection. It branches to the northwest, northeast. That don't sound right. Yeah, northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. Lower half of the snapped wooden signpost thrusts upward at an angle near the eastern elbow of the intersection. Top half of the sign, featuring arms pointing in 4 directions, lies in the weeds nearby.
Pick up the sign.
Okay?
What sign? What directions does it say?
So the top half of the signpost obviously connects to the lower half.
Mm-hmm.
2 parts are sign are aligned and rejoined. The arms indicate Krezk and Tololsky Pass to the southwest. So let's do this because the direction's kind of off from what your perspective is. So southwest will be this way, with my bad arrow drawing. So down this road.
Yep.
That says Krezk and Tololsky Pass. I know that's not how it's pronounced, but
Okay.
It is now.
It is now.
Pulling
And
that.
Kresk to the southwest.
Kresk.
To the northwest is called Lake Partuk. And that'll be up this way. And Valaki and Ravenloft to the northeast, which is the direction you're coming from.
Right, so we should be able to align it knowing which direction the thing goes, so we will know which way we're headed.
Correct.
Which direction are we supposed to be headed? Is there a particular town we're headed to?
I don't think he told us. I think he just told us that the Wizard of the Wines was to the west.
All right. Well,
I don't think we weren't given a town name. We were told it was 2 days' ride to the Abbey.
so well, we could either head this Kresik.
That's where the Abbey is. That's where the Abbey of Saint Markov is, or Martov.
Chances of the wizard being there, do you think?
The wizard was supposed to be in the woods north of Lake Saravik.
Ah. Well,
Which was the lake to the north of Valaki.
the Wizard of the Wines, isn't it to the west?
Oh, the Wizard of the Wine. I'm sorry. I was thinking the wizard, the Mad Mage.
No.
Yeah, we're looking for the wine.
Yeah, Wizard of the Wines.
That's just to the west.
That was all we were told, is that the winery was to the west.
All right. Well, northwest or southwest, folks?
What's Zephyr think?
Me? I
Mhm.
know.
Do you think it's more likely to be on the lake or in this Kresik place, which is where
What about Nim?
the abbey is?
I suspect the lake.
All right. So we could head northwest.
I mean, I guess if everybody
Is there
agreed on the lake, I will agree on that as well.
I don't know, is there like a way to roll to know which direction?
No.
No.
Without a
I don't
map.
think so. Not without a map. All right. Cool beans.
Okay, can we do was it perception of looking at the ground and seeing if heavy tracks are in the road and which way to go?
That's fair. That's a fair point. You don't need to roll. You're on the old Salvic road, so it's a pretty heavily traveled road. So there's more traffic west to east, east to west, more than there is going northwest.
More so going northwest.
All right. So
Yeah.
So it would go northwest, then
Maybe.
or it would go southwest from here. The most traffic goes southwest or northwest.
Southwest, yes.
Okay.
So old Salvic road will go southwest. There's more wagon wheels and traffic that way, and of course over the bridge and back towards Valaki.
Would we
Okay,
know?
so I'm confused.
Would we know which area would be better for wine?
Well, I can say this. There has been no deliveries from the winery for months, so it's most likely to be the less traffic.
That'd be the north. All right. Northwest, it seems, is the way to go.
All agree, northwest?
Agreed.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, I guess, but Lake isn't my favorite. Forests are my favorite. Never mind. I was gonna say I can roll. Make a check about whether I know it would be better for wine, but lakes are not my favorite. Never mind.
Well, that check will be mute because you're kind of in a forest. You don't have a whole scenery of the land in front of you to kind of gauge that. You're kind of your perspective is tall trees, fog,
No,
and
no,
mist everywhere.
I meant to know whether a lake would be a better place for growing wine
Oh,
than a forest. But I don't know when. I mean, like
You-
forests are my
you-
favorite. So
all right. Well,
But
that's a
we
good
do
point.
kind of know we're
You
going to
can-
a lake.
You can go. All right, that's a fair point. Anybody wants to check? Just roll a nature check.
You don't grow wine, you grow grapes.
Right.
dirty 20.
20.
Ah, Tarnok got a dirty 22. Nice. We know things.
You know things. Both you and Tarnak and Zephyr knows that wine is made from grapes. Pretty much not by a lake. They're more in vineyards,
All right.
in green fields.
You know, I don't think we should be heading towards the lake if we're looking for the Wizard of the Winery.
Okay, I agree. Let's head towards
The southwest.
Krez.
The Solenica Pass. Solenka. There is no
Mhm.
Eka. Solenka.
Okay, so
That way.
Okay. All right. Oops. Let's put you right back here as the road as you start heading from a direction point of view southwest, and then it starts turning north a little bit. There is a old, unused, but used to be cobble and road, but it's been overgrowth. Almost looks like for years. If you almost gauge centuries, heading back towards the south, which is basically this intersection here. It's overgrown. And it continues on into the distance in the mist. You can't hear it, can't see it no more. And of course, your path that you're on with the wagon wheels, everything is still bending to the north now. I'm going to assume you're going to still head that way.
Yeah, I say continue, because we need to get to where we're going. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To-do. You travel for about another hour or so, getting around lunchtime. It's still raining. It's still overcast. The sun never shines in Barovia. Does this have a sign? Yeah, so you come up to basically another intersection here. One branch heads north, turning into a dirt path. One branch heads south. There's a sign pointing that way that says Talsnik Pass or Talsnika Pass. I don't know if the N sign up there or not. And up ahead, right before a bridge of a crossing of a river, and the clearing of which you can see a large lake and a tower that stands there. So let's put you here. So you see a tower. But I didn't circle properly, but you see a tower. And the water is rushing down, so it's higher elevation rushing down to a rapid right under the bridge. There's a path to head into the southwest, and that sign says Wizards of Wine. And the road gently slopes downward in that direction.
I think we're headed in the right direction.
Yes.
indeed. I'll say we make haste before nightfall.
Should get as far as we can through this. For sure.
And while we're writing, I'm going to say, so does anybody have any ideas about how we're going to get Tarnok back into Vallaki?
No, but I'm sure we have some time to think about it.
Yeah.
You ride on for about another half an hour, 45 minutes. The wind are starting to kicking up, blowing the trees, leaves, and everything else. Rain's starting to pick up.
Better not be any more horses.
About another half a mile down the road becomes muddy trail that meanders through the woods, ascending gradually until the trees part, revealing a mist-shrouded meadow. The trail splits. I don't think it kind of does. So kind of where talk is. The trail splits. One branch heads west into the valley, where you see fields and fields of grapevines. And the other one leads south into a dark wood. A wooden signpost at the intersection points west and reads Vineyard.
I guess we go to the vineyard.
That's it. We'll head west.
Okay. The rain is starting to pick up. The wind's blowing even harder. As you head towards the vineyard, as a house comes into view, grapevines come into view, you see unpainted fences blindly follow the trail that you're following, which skirts north of a sprawling vineyard before bending south sharply towards a stately building. The fog takes on a ghostly form as it swirls between the neatly tended rows of grapevines. And here and there you see rope-handled half barrels used for hauling grapes. Throughout the field as they're collected. They're still there. And north of the trail is a large strand of trees. And a man wearing a dark cloak and cowl stands at the edge of the trees, beckoning you to come here. So from a perspective point of view, that man's probably standing right at the hedgerow right in here, or tree row.
Okay.
Wow, right there.
And he's beckoning us over.
Yes.
Okay. We should probably head over there.
Well, what's his appearance?
Yeah.
He's humanoid, but he's got a cloak, and he's very heavily cloaked. You can't see any kind of skin or anything. He's like got gloves on, and he's just kind of come here, beckoning.
Oh. Like that.
Doesn't sound sketchy at
Under
all,
a tree?
Yeah, he's at the tree line there.
Okay.
So as the trail continues on to the left, you see the houses, you see the grapevines, the barrels in the fields, the fog twirling around them, and as you're coming around the trail that heads back to the stately building, big, nice, kind of wealthy-looking building, there's a figure standing at this tree line, not too far off. You will probably 50 yards, and he's noticing you, and he's beckoning you. Come here.
What do you think? Should we continue to the house, or should we go and see what this individual wants?
And the barrels are outside filled with grapes. Nobody tending?
They're barrels used to fill the grapes in. You from this distance, you can't tell if they're filled with grapes. But just to give you the context, they're out there for them to collect the grapes in.
I guess I would suggest that maybe we approach the figure with caution.
Very well.
Okay.
As you walk over on your horsebacks towards the woods line, as you got closer, he starts beckoning. 4 more humans figures come out of the woods line, out of the shadows. Two look younger because they're smaller in stature and height. As you edge up closer.
I don't know.
As close as you get. I would not go down there if I was you, unless you're looking to fight the undead.
And who might you be?
Take that back. Unless you want to fight the blights. Sorry, not the undead. He pulls his hook back. It is the elderly man. I am Danvin Markov. I own this establishment. And this is my family. My eldest son, Adrian, pulls his cloak back. It's a young human. Elver. He's young. He's probably about 10, 12 years old. The eldest son's probably about 17, 20. That's Elver. And my daughter, Stefana, who looks to be probably in her 20s. And that is my son-in-law, Dog, Tom Skew. I don't know where to get these names at. Hang on, Cordy, I'll get them. There you go.
Your name is Mardukov, you say?
Yes, I am.
We were
What
sent
brings you
here
down?
by we were sent here by Erwin from Valaki to check on the vineyard to find out why the wine had stopped coming.
I believe he's your son, correct?
Yes, my son. Indeed. Well, the wine stopped coming because of the druids on the other side of the hill, through the forest. They took over our vineyard with their blights. We can't even get access to our houses anymore, and our warehouses or anything. We're defenseless.
And what provoked the druids to do that?
Let's just say we are not favorable neighbors in their eyes.
Any particular reason they might feel that way?
I have no idea. You know how it is here in Barovia.
Insight?
Go ahead.
Uh, 11.
You get a sense he's holding something back.
Okay. Yeah. Gotta go. I don't really
I guess
know.
I'll say we're not sure how things go in Barovia. We're not from Barovia, you see.
Indeed. Well, you will learn soon enough how the local citizens are around here. It's safe to say that we're not on good terms as neighbors. You see, the druids are evil. They worship Strahd as a god. They want to be in his favor.
How does that even make sense? That a druid would see an undead as a god?
Indeed. Everything's twisted here in Barovia. Strahd's doing.
It sounds like the druids here do not share much in common with the druids from where we come from.
Indeed.
Yes, many adventurers have come this way has said the same thing. Again, this land is evil and twisted. It's basically ruled by the Dark Mother. Doesn't surprise me things are twisted in opposite ways. What was good is now evil.
So, we were sent here to get the wine flowing again in order to gain the trust of Erwin. What do you need us to do?
You need to, and he points to the fields. You need to give us access back to our warehouses and fields. We can supply wine if I'm chased out of my own house and my own business.
That doesn't help us. Where are the druids? What are these blights?
They're in the fields. They're in the house. They took over my land.
But what are they?
They are needle blights.
Oh, good.
And twig blights. And all the abominations of nature. Vine
How many
blights.
do they number?
Stand by. My last count before we were running, over 50.
I'm just going to look at Tarnok.
Well, I'm down for whatever we need to do.
And where are the druids?
My guess there'll be, well, the main druids are by the leaders, or by their place over the. And he points to the south, kind of over far. So, if you look at the map there, you got the winery, the fields, kind of here. And he's pointing towards over the forest area. So you're gonna guess this right here is probably where the main druids are.
Okay.
But there's three druids with. There's three druids from their attack party that's staged up in their house right here.
Okay.
Night, Ubby.
All right. So, at the very least, we could clear out the druids here. There are only 3 of them here, they said.
Yes, but there are almost 50 beasts.
Oh.
Scattered throughout the farm, in the farmhouse and the warehouses.
Beasts.
Yes, these blights that he speaks of. Well, I suppose the farmhouse is as good a place to start as any.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think that might be the best place to start.
Some of these beasts are manifested from the druids, then maybe they'll vanish. The puppeteer is gone, and we cut the strings. Puppet goes away.
Dude, we can only hope their magic works that way.
Yes, we can only hope.
Yes. Now that you say that, that makes sense. There was one druid carrying his staff that seems to been summoning them.
Oh. That
So
indeed is useful information. Thank you.
Indeed. That staff might be the cancer of the problem.
And is that one of the ones located in the house?
Yes.
All right. And let's start there.
Okay. So as you start heading down towards the road, towards the house, Situated in the midst of the vineyard, the winery is an old 2-story stone building with multiple entrances, thick ivy covering every wall, and iron fencing along its roofline. The trail ends at an open loading dock on the ground floor. Let's take a moment, real quick. I gotta grab. I guess I'll grab from. This be. No, not there. One second, guys.
Getting bored, Avalar. They're clicking off.
No. Sorry.
I'm being a smarty.
As we bring over to the map. Couple folks I gotta. Nope. And he's in your saddlebag. Right. Yeah, so the trail ends at an open loading dock on the ground floor. So the map's not 100% replicated, but it's pretty close. So I'll reread it. So situated in the midst of the vineyard, a winery is old, 2-story stone building with mosses and thick ivy covering every wall and iron fencing along its roofline. The trail ends at an open loading dock on the ground floor. A wooden stable of more recent construction is attached to the east side of the winery, next to the loading dock. West of the winery is a crumbling well and wooden outhouse. You guys can see it all right, right? No, lighting's not got me messed up.
Nope, I think we can see everything.
Now, as you travel in to reach the entrance around here, I'm assuming you guys are going to go. Correct?
I mean, if it's the obvious entrance, then sure.
Yep.
You hear, as you get closer to the house, you hear rustling of dead vines all around you, and inhuman shapes emerge from the vineyard. Their limbs crackling as they trudge forth through the mist and the rain. Six groups of 5 needle blights coming out of the vineyards. I don't have the tokens out, but this is a good place to stop for the night, as you are now going to be surrounded by 30 needle blights.
Oh,
coming out of the vineyard. I don't have the tokens, but I was thinking about going a little later, but I was thinking about it. But yes, we're going to end there. Needle blights.
Alrighty.
Needle blights. Oh, for fart's sake.
Oh, for fart's sake, exactly.
I was trying not to do such a combat cliffhanger, but it just ended that way.
No,
but yes,
I'm sure.
But very good session. A lot of RP.
Good stuff.
A little bit of story. But guys, everybody, thank you for coming out. I see the Pin showed up. Thank you. So, yep. I'll say it as a meta game. I'm answering a question from Mike of Fair, I believe, asked this question. If you're familiar with the Strahd campaign, the Dusk Elves resemble more like Wood Elves. In this campaign, I am taking that change, and they're going to resemble Drow Elves. That is correct. There's a reason for that. A little twist, not a whole brew, just a little twist.
Just a little twist.
I gotta connect the back.
Substitution.
Gotta connect the backstory of one of our PCs here. But everybody, thanks for coming out. I hope you enjoyed it.
Lots of fun. Are we going somewhere? Where are we going?
Sure, we can hit 20 sides to every story. It looks like they're playing Original Adventures Reincarnated, Temple of Elemental Evil. It says.
Sounds fantastic.
Ooh, that sounds
So,
good.
Fancy.
Yeah, sure does, doesn't it? So, anyway, thanks guys for coming out. Like I said, there's a link panel down below that gets you our link tree that has links to all the stuff, the Twitter and everything, the YouTube, all that stuff. But yeah, let's head on over. If I can click the thing, make the thing
Click
do.
the button, stupid.
Click the button, make the button do stuff. Yeah,
All right, guys.
and we'll see you. We'll see you over there. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.